friends and gamers, welcome to the Fortress. It is January 1939 and Europe is at the brink of war. Germany has built a huge army of medium armor and mechanized, and combined with the forces already in existence and the mighty Luftwaffe, it is a force to be reckoned with. The French forces have mobilized and amassed for defense of the Maginot Line in Paris. Great Britain is also preparing itself for assisting as much as it can on the continent, but also in a way to defend against the German U-boat menace in the Atlantic. So we are preparing ourselves on all fronts against the German aggression. All right, let's take a look at the economic table. The British Commonwealth has a bunch of money to spend now. With German aggression and Japanese invasion of the Netherlands, we've picked up ourselves a little bit more than what we had before. Great Britain has $16 to spend. They're doing one research of improved construction. They're buying 3 militia and 1 fighter. The Far East Command has sufficient amount of money. It has $9, and so it can purchase 3 militia and 1 infantry. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I don't have sufficient for that. Oh, sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have sufficient for that. Anzac is purchasing a submarine for $6. And Canada is purchasing a fighter, plus doing a research from their factory in Ottawa. So money is starting to come in a little bit from the younger brothers of the Commonwealth, and we're pulling together for a mighty effort. Okay, let's do our research rolls first. So let's do our improved construction. As the Brits, we need to hit a 7 or up to succeed. We're already at stage 1. Success. So that moves us to stage 2. I'm amazed at how much tech we have this game. It's abnormally high. The Canadians also are doing a tech from their base in Ottawa, and they're doing long range. So we need a 7 and up to succeed. And we succeed again. Isn't that something? Okie dokes. Well, that's the way it is. Successes all around. It's a game with lots of tech on it, that's for sure. Okay, let's take a look at our movements. The British non-combat movement phase. So, the British fleet in Sea Zone 25 is going to come across Sea Zone 22. Additionally, 1 fighter from this position is going to jump on top of that carrier. Down in from the Sea Zone 79, we're going to move up a destroyer and a submarine to that northern position. So that means we have 1 coastal defense ship, 2 heavy cruisers, 1, 2, 3 destroyers, 1 torpedo boat destroyer, 1 submarine, and 1 light carrier with a fighter on top. Now, from British Midlands, we're going to be moving our entire aircraft in England. So that's a fighter, strategic bomber, air transport, plus an airborne unit are all going to fly down to Gibraltar. Down to here. Here they are all landed there. And we're going to be moving our entire force into the Mediterranean, barring the Canadian torpedo boat destroyer. That's all coming into this sea zone in Sea Zone 81. Here they are. The transports are going to bring across from Gibraltar. They're bringing across the Canadian militia type units, the specialized infantry, and they are coming and landing in Western Egypt. Now we are also doing the submarine from Sea Zone 79 is coming up to Sea Zone 52. And that is it for those. Let's take a look at Egypt now. So these Egyptians are coming north to eastern Egypt, and this fellow here in Transjordan is going to be railed from this position to western Egypt. I believe that's what we'll do. Next, we are going to take a look over here at this fleet. So this fleet is also going to Sea Zone 81 to join that fleet over there. So let me move it across. Alright, so in this position here, we have now 5 destroyers, 2 light cruisers, 3 heavy cruisers, 1 battle cruiser, 3 battleships, 1 light carrier with a fighter on board, 2 transports. Now from Sea Zone 83, where it was down here, we're also going to move 1 of these ships to Sea Zone 81 as well, the 1 transport. We'll also move this transport from this position, and it's going to come across to the Bay of Bengal, I believe it's called, right there. Just making a mess of my table here. Okay, Um, in the Bay of Bengal, dealing with Anzac forces, so we have a destroyer and a light cruiser, and they're going to go just off the coast of Eden to the position that was just vacated, these two ships. And I'm going to put them on escort duty, or one of them is going on escort duty in that position. So let me grab a token for that. I do need to specify which one is going on escort duty, because this submarine may choose to attack and do first strike. So this escorting ship is going to be the light cruisers, the one that's escorting. Now while we're on that subject, so this Canadian torpedo boat destroyer is going on escort duty as well, simply because this port is, this has 3 joining convoy lines. Okay, back to this side. Now this Anzac transport is going to pick up 1 infantry and 1 artillery, since they can all move at the same time. It's going to go strategic combat, strategic naval move, and is going to join the fleet off of the coast of Egypt. So that means that we're dropping off in western Egypt, we're dropping off artillery and another infantry off this Anzac transport. Now the distance between those two territories is sufficient. So 122, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is capable of reaching that position. All right. Now here we don't move anything. This sub though, this last unit here, this coastal sub, is coming to sea zone 55 up there. The Anzac, they have these units here present, but they do not make any moves whatsoever. And that should take care of all the non-combat moves, and we'll go to place unit phase. All right, so place unit phase. We first place our Australian unit, our Anzac unit rather, and that's going to go at our shipyard here in Sydney. Next, we're going to cruise on and take a look at the Far East Command. With them, they have 1 infantry to place, which is going to be here, and then they have, they have 1 infantry to place, and then they have 3 militia. Now, I'm going to place the 3 militia. I don't know what, yeah, I could put all 3 in Calcutta if I wanted to, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 1 militia in Singapore, and 2 militia will go into Calcutta. That is my plan. Great Britain is next, and so I'm going to place 1 militia in Nubia, 1 militia in Aden, and 1 militia in Cyprus. Cyprus, just in case that party ship of the Germans comes up and tries to make a landing there. Now, we have our fighter left to place on the board, and so we'll cruise up here. Now, I could put in 2 places in England, but I shall simply just put it here. Yeah, that's the last of it, and then the Canadians have 1 fighter to place on the board as well, which they shall place in Ottawa. And that concludes the place unit phase for them. Now, the Dutch. The Dutch are not making any moves. They're at war with Japan, and they are at war with a major power. I can't collect income for them. All I can do is a recruitment roll. Japan picked up 3 of their territories? Yeah, 3 of their territories last turn. So now they're down to a roll of 3. The 3 territories they have is in the Netherlands, and then they have 2 territories in here, Suriname and Lesser Antilles, which means we need to succeed at a roll of 3 or less. So I'm going to roll for it here now, and hopefully they get 3 or less. 7, missed. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. Okay, so let's take us back to the economic table now. So Great Britain collects $15. Far East Command collects $8. Anzac collects $6. And Canada already has $6 left over, so they gain another 4, bringing them up to $10. And that concludes the British Commonwealth's turn, and stay tuned for the French turn. The French find themselves in a very tough financial position. The Axis powers have successfully reduced their income by about 20% straight from the start by refusing to annex Bohemia, as well as Japan's refusal to go into China. So that's impacted France quite a bit, actually. But nonetheless, we keep our chins up and we will continue to make some maneuverings for war. In the defense of our homeland, we intend no aggressive actions. Germany still has the opportunity to stand down and step back from the brink of war. And we beg and we plead for the German people, the German Führer, to calm himself down. Calm himself down. We'll give him a slice. We'll just talk about it. Give us 6 months, a year to discuss things and come to an agreement, and we will give them back Alsace, and we'll keep Lorraine, and we'll be at peace. We'll demilitarize our borders, and everything will be perfectly sweet and happy. Just we beg and plead, and we hope he listens to us. Okay, let's take you to the economic table. Oh, let me quickly say, the USSR very kindly sent us anti-aircraft. Very kindly. They saw the light. They know the threat the Axis project. They know that the Axis have annexed much of Central Europe at this point. They know what faces them if France falls. They know they'll be the only ones on the continent. And even though the regime in the Soviet Republic is different what it was than under the Tsar's time, Russia remembers France, their old ally from World War I. Russia remembers, and many of their generals have fought alongside the French people back in the day. Well, most of them have been shot, but there's a few left around. Okay, let's go to the economic table. Much thanks to the Soviets. Much thanks. So France, starved of its income, only has $11 to spend. With that, they're purchasing 2, 4, 6, 8, 4 militia and 1 infantry. So that works out to $11. We're also rolling for a tech. We're currently sitting at stage 1 of long-range aircraft, and this is our die roll to get to stage 2. Success! My goodness! Success is everywhere. Success is like mad. Okay, so with our movements. Now, most of our land movements are very internal. We aren't doing too much, but we are doing something drastic, but it's just between 2 territories, so it's very simplistic. Okay, so let's take a closer look at that. Basically, all our militia is going to be in Alsace-Lorraine. All our infantry is coming to Paris, including this one from southern France. We trust our Italian player that they are not going to do us any harm. So that's all what's going to happen. Everything else stays the same. So I'll just pause this and redo it, and then I'll do a tally. Okay, this looks ridiculous. I do have smaller chips, but I thought I'd do it this way because we're going to be combating anyways in a turn. So I took the liberty of placing some of my units already. I placed 1 infantry here and 3 militia over there. So we have 14 infantry there, 15 if you include the French Foreign Legion that moves up there. This anti-aircraft is coming into that position as well. So we have 15 infantry, including the French Foreign Legion, an anti-aircraft, a medium bomber, and a fighter. In this position, we have 9 militia, motorized, an anti-aircraft, artillery, and then we have 2 fortifications there. Now, I did buy 4 militia, so that last militia is going into Aquitaine. I got a better chip for that. It's going right here to Aquitaine. And that is that for our non-combat on the land, as well as our placed units on the land. But we're also doing some movements in the oceans. So let's zoom out. Now, it's very basic stuff that we're doing. Simply, we're going to be moving this ship. That's a heavy cruiser, a destroyer, and a torpedo boat destroyer down here. So that leaves us with 2 battleships and destroyer up there. And over here we have a heavy cruiser, 2 destroyers, torpedo boat destroyer. Our subs are on the other side, and we will take care of them right. Oh, one last thing. We do have some 2 transports here, and these are coming across to Sea Zone 81. They feel quite safe with the British forces. We are long-term allies at this point. It's been a long time since Napoleon. Okay, over here we make some small movements. So this submarine comes to this position with, well, those 2 submarines I guess can do that. Yeah, those 2 submarines come here, and then I move these 2 subs here. So I have a sub in Sea Zone 89, a sub in Sea Zone 55, and a sub in Sea Zone 65. That is it for them. Okay, so that concludes the French turn. They have collected their income of $10. And now we move on to Panzer King's channel, which will be 6.5, the Italian turn. Thank you all for watching. Cheers!